Hey, welcome back to the Big Red Show. Thank you for joining me. Now, of course, the election is over. It's a done deal. Joe Biden is going to be the 46th president of the United States. But Donald Trump still hasn't accepted that. I don't guess he ever will because he's just a stupid loser who doesn't understand how things work. He seems to think that simply because he had the lead before all the votes were counted, that he's the winner. Or that some deep state actors are changing the votes. But that's not what has happened here. That is not what has ever happened in the U.S. election. You have all his supporters out there saying, well, you Democrats, you said that he was illegitimate, but we didn't. Most of us didn't. In fact, most of us just believe that Russia interfered in the election. Most of us didn't say they interfered on his behalf. It just so happens that a good number of people in his campaign worked directly with the Russians. So it does lead many to believe that Russia played a huge part. And whether or not they did isn't the issue. The issue is they interfered in our elections. They may or may not have changed votes at some point because we never actually dug into how far their election interference went because the Trump administration refused to allow us to do it. So that would lead people to believe that Donald Trump was complicit and encouraged Russia to interfere in the election on his behalf, whether or not that is what happened. I believe that the Russians did help get Donald Trump elected in 2016. I don't personally believe that he asked them to do it. I just believe they knew he was the best method to destroy America from the inside out, whether he was in office or leaving office. I just don't think he is smart enough to pull off a fraud like that. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments what you think. But the fact is, Donald Trump continues to peddle conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory and lie after lie, trying to claim that he, one, either won the election or two, lost because it was rigged. Probably one of the biggest sore losers I have ever seen in the world of politics. I have never seen a person who has lost an election act like such a petulant little child than Donald J. Trump. Not only has he been one of the worst presidents I have ever witnessed in my lifetime, well, not one of, but the worst president in my 41 years. He's also been the biggest liar, the biggest cheat, and the biggest fraud you have ever seen. He is a con man from the very beginning. He's been a con man ever since he's been an adult. I don't know anything about his teen years really, but I do know as an adult he's been nothing but a fraud and a con. And now he wants us to believe that the con was cheated. Well, let's go through some of these theories, shall we? The belief that mail-in votes are illegal or illegitimate. That's his claim. But we've been mailing in votes for decades in this country. You got some states where they've been doing mail-in voting for 30 freaking years. The amount of fraud? Less than in person. Go figure, huh? Now, he wants to complain that some of these ballots may have come in after Election Day. That's a fair argument, except the state laws, like for example in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, say that you just have to have your ballot post dated by voting day. Therefore, all those votes counted. And in Pennsylvania, where the numbers were staggeringly in support of Joe Biden, they even segregated certain votes that came in after that day that had postmarks later than Election Day. They segregated them, didn't even count them. And then finally a court said throw them out because they were late, as per state law. So it's kind of, there's no argument that the mail-in votes and the absentee votes were legitimate. It's just they're counted differently than other votes, and they're counted at a different time. They're not counted on Election Day. A lot of states have laws that require you to wait. So, Mr. Trump, no, the mail-in ballots were not fraudulent. He also has claimed that, that it was rigged by some, deep state type thing, or the Democratic Party. Well, let's break that down a little bit, should we? How would the Democrats have rigged the election and kept the Republicans in power in the Senate? I gotta tell you, that would be one of the worst riggings I have ever seen of anything in my life. That you would rig it to where your guy wins the presidency, but you lose seats in the House, and you don't win the Senate. That would be the worst rigging ever done. So yet again, that is just not a logical step. But then again, Donald Trump is not a logical human being. The only thing that's logical to Donald Trump is whether or not he gets to be the center of attention. That's all that matters to him. And unfortunately, that's just how it is. Donald Trump is that kind of loser. I don't take a lot of flack for things I say about Donald Trump, but the problem is they're all true. I do my best to look into everything before I make a video or before I even post it on Facebook or Twitter. And every single one of these things are true. This man is a terrible president. He thinks he's a dictator. He thinks he's some kind of strong man. And like a friend of mine posted, he's the weak man's version of a strong man. And he's the stupid person's idea of a smart man. Donald Trump has not been that successful as president. And it's not because of the Democrats or anybody else. It's because of him. It's because of his rhetoric and his lies. He still continues to say that the entire election was rigged. Can we really believe that coming from a man who has lied over 22,000 times since taking office? I grew up with presidents like Bill Clinton. There was a few reasons they called him Slick Willie, and one of them was because he was able to lie his way out of anything. I thought Bill Clinton was probably one of the biggest liars I had ever seen. He was masterful at it. Then I saw Donald Trump. He started in 2015 making as if he had never run for president before. But he had. Under a Reform Party back in 2000. It lasted like 3 months and his campaign died. Why? Because he was a terrible candidate. And then in 2015, when he decides he's going to run for president again, he tells you that he's never done it, but never run for office before, so he's not a politician. But he sure said he knew how to pay off politicians. So does that mean he knows how to take money as well? Donald Trump is going to sit there and tell you again and again that he was robbed, that the election was rigged, and it's not the case. The facts are the facts. Joe Biden won. I don't believe it's a mandate for the Democratic Party. I believe it was just a repudiation of Donald Trump and how terrible of a leader he is, how inept he is at doing his job. And I'll leave you with this. Why is he fighting so hard for a job that he doesn't even want to do? Anyways, this has been the Big Ranch Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck. I'll see you down the road. Hopefully, he'll be gone in a few months.